Buzz baits. Remember what I said about having a bait that you can work in stained, dirty, muddy water? Buzz bait. Buzz bait's a tremendous bait. There's a gazillion different buzz baits out there, right? There's, well, let's see, we got all kinds of them up there. Got double spins up top. We have the one where the wire goes through the middle of the blade and just spins and spins forever, real simple, easy. You've got the lunker lure style that comes off on the side of the blade, okay? You've got some with holes, some with no holes. You've got some that hit on the wire, some that hit on the head that clack. You got triple spins. You got all these different types of buzz baits, and you could do a whole seminar on just buzz bait fishing. Buzz bait's another topwater bait. That's what it is. But where it really excels is when you got stained and muddy water. It's a consistent sound, blip, 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 or bloop, 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 or either way. Consistent sound, so when it's stained or muddy, they find it and they're there, and they get it. So it's really cool when you go to a real muddy reservoir, a real place that I can go back in those creeks and little shallow pockets and bays, throw a buzz bait, and catch them. I can go to grass lakes. You've got heavy, heavy matted grass, vegetation. Throw it out there, and what's really cool about it, it's a consistent sound, coming and going, and they can locate it. So when they're hunkered down in this, all of a sudden it's, they're what, and they come to it. A real neat, kind of a unique deal is, a friend of mine runs the Walt Disney Waters, all the vegetation control and all the stuff down there at Walt Disney World, and they were putting in, they have a real problem with vegetation. So they were putting in a carpet and some type of sheeting that they put into the marinas so the grass doesn't grow up in the marina and plug it up, because they got all these little boats that they rent out of that they make a lot of money on. So they don't want the grass to fill it up. So, and they don't want to have to sit there and constantly treat the water with chemicals, so they put this sheeting down that can't grow through. So he gets his scuba tanks and he's got a sledgehammer. How'd you like to do that? Sledgehammer underwater. Anyway, so he's sledgehammering underwater, and he said he got this real eerie feeling. He just like, and he looked around, and there's like 40 big old bass looking at him. He's glad he's a pretty good sized dude, because you know they might have thought he was a crawfish and tasty time. But anyway, he's just, and what it was, they come to a sound. Lipless crankbaits, red eye shad. It's not anything in the natural environment for them. You know, they talk about the crawfish clicks and all. I'm sure they all make sounds, but that's not what it sounds like. Nothing that we produce makes it sound like what something in the natural environment. But the biggest thing about bass, they're curious as heck. I mean, I'm fishing with my dad over here at Thousand Islands again, and this back years ago. My dad sat in the back of the boat, propped his feet up on my Mercury, and he's throwing a tube bait. And he dragged it along behind the boat. He wore me out. I'm doing the spinnerbait deal. I'm the Pete Lusick, because I love it. I said, one on a high-speed spinnerbait, and I'm happy, you know. And I caught me like 5 that day, just cranking that spinnerbait. And my dad, of course, he's like 83 at the time, 82 or whatever, and he's like, nah, dude, I'm back here. He caught like 15, okay? He's like, he just killed him. But what it was is the bass, literally in that clear water, they can see you coming, and they just kind of hang out. And they go around, but they're curious, and they fall in behind the boat. Dude, here's his tube bait, just dragging around back there. He's killing them. Anyway, but you'll see that. How many times have you trolling motored into a pocket? Real shallow water, crystal clear all the way across, you troll motor, and you don't see a bass. You go, man, there ain't nothing in here. Sit down, tie a lure, you stand up, they're everywhere, right? Take some time. They're pretty curious. They want to know who you are, what you're doing in their environment. They're checking you out. Okay, so a lot of times that behind the boat deal it works really well, but that's the thing about a buzzbait, okay? Buzzbait attracts them, they see it, they can locate it, they're very curious, they can figure and find that out. No breaks in the action, it's pretty good. Now, can you spit them and pop them? Absolutely, you can do it. My dad caught one reeling it underwater. I said, oh, this is classic practice. I said, this is good. I can see me coming up on stage in classic going, yeah, I'm kneeling and reeling a buzzbait. That's what I'm doing to catch them.